Welcome to another special overtime every time workout in March. I gotta begin with gratitude, and it is here from, I guess, in between my old neighborhood and the new. Nothing that I want to go back to. I'm way better off where I live now. And a few years ago, I left a moldy place, sickness and illness. And during the past years, I've been healing a lot, especially by working out, which I encourage all. A little bit of sunlight. And of course, I gotta say my gratitude. Today we're gonna march for the nurses, the doctors, the butchers, the bakers, the nurses, and of course those in those professions. And we're gonna go by the side, and we're gonna go by the side of the, turning my head left and right, and we're gonna cross. And of course today for the nurses and all the public healthcare workers actually of North American Collective Civilisation, the public healthcare workers of North America, the public healthcare workers of North America. We're gonna go in the shade, but always for my anonymous sister friend, and the butchers, the bakers, the nurses, the doctors, and all those involved in the distribution and production of food. The bakers, the nurses, the doctors, the grocery store clerks, 24/7. For the firefighters, it is 1st of May. I'm starting late, let's see, because I'm starting late because I was busy and I didn't want to go in the stores, go to the bank and film and pause. And so I started a late one. It's going to be a little one, more than an hour, but it's going to be a little bit of XYZ, and it's going to be a little bit of XYZ, and it's a little bit of this and that, and we're going to go to see how much. 2 hours and 49 minutes already on the march. 2 hours and 49 minutes. 2 hours and 49 minutes. 2 hours and 49 minutes on the march already. And I went to a consultation for a medic, and I got a little bit of an over-the-counter prescription, but I got to get a second opinion because I guess my situation is a bit inconclusive, and it's always good to get a second, third opinion, not to be misdiagnosed, and and to get a little bit more attention. But nonetheless, we got to get that public and the private, and it's always a private and the public, and a private and the public affair, which yours truly, Rainbow Dragon, for the butchers, bakers, nurses, doctors, grocery store clerks, and all those involved in the production, distribution of food. And we got to get a little bit of that X and that Y and B on the drill. There we go. What is this? It says Regent on it. Wow. Future here. I'm just gonna get it out of the way in case there's carriages with the children for security. I'm just gonna get it out of the way in case there's carriages with the children. And of course it says Regent on it, and it's kind of cool, and I kind of like it. But nonetheless, we can build Rainbow Dragon Army, make it red, and we can build hard ones like this. It looks like it's made of metal, but it says Regent on it. So we're just gonna move it out of the way just to make sure, because somebody can trip on that. And I'm here in the, it was here laid on the sidewalk here, so it's always good, of course, to move it a little bit slightly as we move towards the sun. And with gratitude, grateful, thankful that my rent's paid, electricity bill's paid, and got a little bit of X and got a little bit of Y, and got a little bit of rock and roll with it. So rock and roll 24/7, always working out, training, exercising for the butchers, for the bakers, for the nurses, for the doctors, for the grocery store clerks, all those involved in the distribution and the production of food in the sun. Grateful, thankful today, rent's paid, electricity bills paid, got food and coffee's already the first, so I'm gonna need to get that paid again. Gonna need to pay my rent again, and of course encourage you all to work out, train, exercise. Gonna do some squats, some push-ups. As we go, we can always do some hawks. Once again, this is dedicated for the public health. It takes that private and that public. Everything that I do is a call for a public-private partnership. Calling Wall Street, Celine Dion, and multi-millionaires, billionaires to finance the nurses. A massage therapy session, public nurses across North America, public nurses across North America, public nurses. They need it. They deserve it any more than me. And I can go with just a little bit of bath and taking a bath at home, which I'm grateful for. Gonna rub my soreness, and I already got a little bit of a application to put on the body. So got a lot of dust in my eye, right eye, left eye, but healed by the sun rays. Anyways, gratitude 24/7 here, Canadian, Quebec, and North America. Many past lives, many incarnations, and rocking it towards the sun. We're gonna head back to headquarters, because we gotta get back in time because we don't want to be too late, as an Aspie who has Asperger's. It's super important to have to manage the condition, the symptoms, because there's no medication. But punctuality is one of the issues we struggle with. Time management, punctuality, being punctual, time management. Although we got a strict routine, sometimes we are not too punctual, and I repeat things twice, 3 times. Got Asperger's and retrograde amnesia, and I'm here as an artist, athlete, philosopher, doing this YouTube. Always grateful, always thankful for today. Carpe diem. Since I died of COVID, it was like death, pestilence, and disease when I had it. It was like death, pestilence, and disease, death, pestilence, and disease when I had it in 2020. In February, March, COVID, it was so hardcore, hit hard, and so I don't want to die, I don't want to go back to anything. I died. During COVID, now I'm being reborn, So I march towards the sun, getting a little bit of a sunlight, and of course, getting a little bit of that sun, It's always good because the sun now rises and now sets, and physical activity always makes me feel good and joyous, and is a medication, and have been in, blah, 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 blah. Have been in, we will continue to call for the mass financing of citizens across the collective North American civilization, blah, 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 to work out, train and exercise, and we could work a public-private partnership. And I'm always doing meditation and rock and roll, Part of my ongoing as a philosopher, artist, athlete, geopolitical analyst, and theorist, salutes the farmers, butchers, bakers, thinking about the truckers on the road, those in the warehouses who give it a little bit of raise, the truckers, the nurses, the doctors, and Wall Street. Let's go, Oprah, billionaires, millionaires, billionaires, finance the nurses in the public across North America, finance them a massage therapy session. That is the call, my message to Oprah and Celine Dion for the time being, with other messages such as support the dream, my dream manifesting as the dancing goddess in the Dragon Kingdom, which is fundamentally a call for a public-private partnership. And here we are on the road, on the rock and roll, and we gotta get that LOV. Sometimes we need a fresh start, and we start, and we get that XYZ, and we gotta get it for the love. There's that red cardinal. Wow, that's a red cardinal. That's my favorite color. What I said. And I try to hunt a picture like a hawk for the cardinal. Oh no, flew away. They fly fast, but I got to see it. So many things to see, so many things to do, and see across North America, across Canada, of course. And one thing that I've been calling for, financing of North American tourist activities, so it got me out of depression 2017, and I was depressed and suicidal, and crossing Canada coast to coast, that made me, of course, come out of depression and being suicidal. And since then I came out of depression and being suicidal when I crossed Canada coast to coast, 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 right? Back then, 2017, in August and September. In August and September, so already 6 months, more than 6 years by 6 months or so. So about 6 years and a half now. Wow, it's gonna be 7 years this coming August and September, So that event got me out of depression, and I've written a theoretical paper somewhere for the public-private partnership, and the ongoing project, of course, for the public-private partnership across the collective North American civilization, part of my ongoing project. And what is that red ball over there? Red catches my attention because it's my favorite color, and I like bright colors, lovely colors. I do like the black and the white together with that gray sometimes. Stormy, I don't mind storms, thunder, but I like it, my rock and roll in the sunshine, my King the Pope. And we need a new start sometimes, takes outside the box thinkers. And I'm also a doer. I'm not just a philosopher. I like to do, as you see, hundreds of videos of me marching, blah blah blah. And I always say your fitness journey begins today, and it's super important to work out, to train, and to exercise. And gotta salute those farmers, butchers, bakers, nurses, doctors, grocery store clerks, all involved in the production and the distribution of food. Now thinking about the truckers on the road, the railways, they're going on that choo-choo train, unloading, loading the trucks, going out of business. And I'm open for business and pleasure, and friends with benefits only. I'm open about Asperger's and everything that I am, of course, androgynous, gay, pansexual, gay, androgynous, and pansexual, gay, androgynous, whatever the case may be. It is always a fruition that it is something which we manage and we deal with, and we learn to to accept as we grow. And as I've grew a lot during COVID, I died, and nothing that I want to go back to. I just want to work and work out and train and exercise. I want to see the rebirth here of Canada coast to coast and defense coast to coast. All my protocols and projects and the ongoing continuing philosophical dictums and geopolitical analysis based on my own research and analysis as an independent philosopher, independent artist, as we retrograde amnesia, and of course geopolitical analyst and theorist, because it's geopolitics 24/7, and I predicted what's happening now, and of course I have geopolitics 24/7. I don't want to start on geopolitical analysis now because it is an ongoing dialogue and I'm not going to finish. It is probably just going to go for hours just discussing geopolitics since 1984, or even before that, predating, even that. Today's May 1st, 2024, you know, and it could be year 001 for you, it could be 1904, it could be whatever happening, and we got different calendars, and I set myself a calendar with COVID and my rebirth, my workout training program systems, my workouts, my squats, my hawks, and you know, this is how I roll. And I like to sing that good rock and roll, and it's rock and roll 24/7. I already composed a few songs as I go, you know, I went to see a doctor, and the doctor gave a prescription. I'm gonna see if I'm gonna take it. If not, I'm gonna go get a second opinion. So it's always good to get a second, sometimes even a third opinion. It's always good to get a second, even a third opinion. It's always good to get a second or a third opinion. I'm gonna get out of the way for the children to pass, and so that they have the space there and pass safely, you know. Our children here joyous, and that's why I love to get out of the way when they're passing with the children and let them safely play, and my fellow citizen with the carriage to go safely pass safe by me, you know, because I tend to be wide shoulder. So give me a nice smile, I guess, appreciate it, and get it for the X, for the Y, for the Z. Gotta pass by. Gonna pass by the other side. Thank you. Here I got priority because it's the piéton, what we call piéton in French. It is, of course, pedestrian crossing, the pedestrian crossing, and it's piéton, of course, in French. We're gonna switch to that French because we're liable province, and here we're crossing a little bit. Just want to go, before I go back to headquarters, I just want to head a little bit to see the progress which is being done on the construction, on the public arena construction, because, you know, I'm a fan of public works, and I am for a public-private partnership. Fundamentally, my work as a philosopher, artist, athlete, geopolitical analyst, and theorist, and is, of course, fundamentally a call for a public-private partnership across the collective North American civilizational complex, across the collective North America, what I call North America and North America, you know. So we got to get it for the drill, and always feels good when I work out, when I train. I always start feeling like when I sweat, you know, that sweat makes me feel good. So every time I do the sweating in the sun, but unfortunately when I sweat, it tends to produce my scratching desire, so I get itchy and I tend to scratch, and that's what I kind of do. And I'm aware that in public, you know, I don't have to be in public and get it for the public, so XYZ and XYZ. So anyways, we'll see where that goes, and we'll see how it goes with the X and the Y and the Z, and we're gonna get it for to heal more, you know, because it's important to heal more as we heal, as we grow together towards a new understanding, a new light. And you take some of the old school, some of the old school is still valid. Push-ups push-ups for 5,000 years, they're gonna still work for another 5,000. One of my favorite exercises, said push-ups. Well, said it worked for another 5,000 years. It's worked for 5,000 years since ancient Egypt, ancient Sumer, ancient Babylon, and ancient Rome, and it's gonna work for another 5,000 years. You know, it's gonna work for another 5,000 years. It's gonna work for another 5,000 years. Gonna work. So push-ups, integral, squats, hawks, and saw my workout training exercise yesterday. We gotta get it for that blue, and gotta get it for the sky. We gotta get it for the sing along, a little bit of rock and roll, a little bit of that song Rock&Roll and a little bit of the X and the Y and the Z and a little bit of that channeling the aggression. Super important, aggression, I have it, but I channel it. I work out, train, exercise. I try to be understanding and, of course, to have the best of my nature in complementary covenant with somebody else's nature. When I'm in the public, I have open responsibilities, duties, and obligations, which I don't have under the normal circumstances, right? Or under the normal circumstances, I don't have, the same obligations, duties, and responsibilities, such as I would have not had if it would have not been the same, So that's how we do it, that's how we get it, and this is what we drill here. We work out, train, exercise, and we work out, train, exercise, and we work out. We channel the aggression, super important. To channel the aggression, the sexuality, whatever the case may be. I can't discuss too much sexuality because I gotta look around, if it's parents with children, if I am to diverge into that topic. But all topics, under the sun, I can discuss as an intellectual philosopher. And I do have the tendency to be overly verbose and use more sophisticated language, which is not applicable at that moment in time, or is perhaps fluent and not necessarily to break down but that's another symptom of Asperger's. So Asperger's, we have a symptom. Asperger's, we have that symptom. We tend to be overly verbose. So I know, like I said to when I discussed with the fellow receptionist, they were laughing. I said, I prefer you guys laughing and having a good time and laughing. Even if you laugh with me, that's okay. I enjoy to bring joy. If I can do my job as a comedian, I enjoy to be able to do that. That would be a privilege on the arena, on the scene, whatever, to do some comedy for people to laugh. That would be fine. I prefer bringing some laughter and joy, than whatever have you, and utilizing my intensities and my peculiarities, Asperger's and whatever have you, to put them to good use, in other words, or for the greater good I am. And I'm not totally altruistic, I'm not totally selfless. I got some selfish, I want something good for myself as well. I mean, I struggle, I had employments and chronic unemployment and short-lived contracts and whatever have you, some jobs here and there, but I had some longer contract ones, but that's Asperger people. We have that struggle, and a lot of Aspies, the majority of Aspies do, until a certain point somehow. And I lost friends over the past 7-8 years. I made new friends and I lost them all, and I kept a few. And Asperger's, it's not a condition, and it's not a mental illness. It's a neurological developmental condition. It's a neurological divergent condition. It's a neurological divergent condition. It is a neurological divergent condition. It is a neurological divergent condition, right? Which I learned to live and manage, and it's just managing it, because there's really no medication for it or for the Asperger's. You just learn your symptoms and learn to be aware, like myself, not to repeat things twice, 3 times, not to have bodily movements, not to be overly verbose and utilize philosophical, sophisticated, intellectual dictums and phrases which might not be of a necessary at that point in time. Of course, given that we discuss whatever have the geopolitical conditions, or whatever have, as a geopolitical analyst and theorist, independent super geopolitical analyst and theorist, and I predicted what's happening now back in 2019 and even prior. I've said the course. But anyways, I'm calling for the mass financing, blah, 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 people to work out, train, exercise, blah, blah, blah. I'm calling for the mass financing, blah, 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 for people to exercise, blah, blah, blah. I'm calling for the mass financing of rebuilding of the infrastructure, public-private partnership, via the implementation of my Trinity of theories, the DRT, death refusion theory. The DRT stands for death refusion theory, which, my brothers and sisters, it is the only solution, and here we are. We're going to discuss some of that DRT, and I like it. There seems to be a little bit of progress. Sometimes progress is slow, such as me. It's been about 3.5 years that I accepted my Asperger's, and I know what it is, and is that condition, and is something which, of course, I manage. It's better to manage. Better to manage, man. better to manage it. I'm gonna be excited about this one here. It's gonna be soon, maybe this year. But wow, there's a lot of millions. A lot of millions here. So that's a good one. Gonna have to be a new. I gotta salute the construction workers, construction workers, construction workers, construction workers, construction workers, construction workers. I'm a fan of the construction workers that they do, and this is gonna be for all of us, a big arena, you know. It's a super big arena, so construction workers rock and roll with the cement, the steel, the boots. So I can always sing some rock and roll, do some marches, and include the construction workers along with the butchers, bakers, terrain, conductors, all the workers of the general collective North American community. And see, I wonder how much steel was used, how much concrete, and I like detail to question a lot of things, and I do question, and I do propose a lot of this, and I do propose a lot of that, and I got it in me, so many things that I don't know, so many things I wish I knew, so many things I do know in a parallel life, such as being a super scientist where I design supercomputers, ICBM rockets, and all things of science, and satellite interconnected with satellites and supercomputers, and I do build in a parallel timeline, a parallel life. I'm a super ASPE scientist, so see, that's investment of $10 million there, so that's good. I can give him 10%, 1% to sing some rock and roll for the public works. And it was also, there was another sign here, the sign's there. Nonetheless, so you gotta appreciate, gotta sing a little bit of the rock and roll. I just gotta check the time because I don't want to be late over much to get back to my headquarters. Oh, there it is. So again, I don't know exactly if it's the total or if they're added together, because see, this one says here that Canada gave 6,200,000. If you added 10 million plus 6 million, that's 16 million. But it could be that the total amount is that. So anyways, I'm going to discuss the DRT theory in a moment, because I believe, brothers and sisters, of course, that the DRT theory, debt refusion theory, is of course the best theory now to get for the financial situation where we are now. There's no other solution but the DRT, the debt refusion theory, for the creation of the UE. So now I'm going to discuss it a little bit as we continue this march, and turn a little bit around about here, go to the houses, explore new ways, because you know, we don't always go to the mountain, but sometimes we go, sometimes we go, sometimes we go, and sometimes we go on that X and on that Y and that Z, you know. So we gotta get it on the X, on the Y, so we gotta get it for the DRT. See, I'm gonna show you exactly the precedent for the DRT. It exists, of course, in me, my obsession, studying, of course, civilizational complexes. So the civilizational complex that I've studied are, of course, in Rome, and of course in whatever the other countries of ancient Egypt and ancient Sumeria are, you know. So XYZ. So that is because I'm an ASPE and I have those obsessions along with geopolitics and sports. Dancing is my favorite sport. I like geopolitics, right? So the DRT is basically nowadays, and now for today, is the only solution. So the DRT stands for debt refusion theory, and of course it is my theory, of course, for the creation of the UE, the universal exchange, and of course it deals with me having studied civilizations. And of course, in the study of civilization, you have public, of course, you have public finance. The public finance matters. So having studied this and having looked at our public finances, I was able to conclude long ago, about 6 years ago, maybe 7, that the path is set towards a catastrophe in our public finances from a North American perspective. So from a United States Canadian perspective, from a United States Canadian perspective, from a United States Canadian perspective. So here we are now. I'm going to show you why I believe that I know that the DRT theory is the only solution. So as you can see there, this in 2020, 2021, it was 20.3 billion. That was the debt servicing, the interest we paid on the debt, the interest we paid on the debt. So it was 20.3 billion, 20.3 billion, 20.3 billion, 20.3 billion, 20.3 billion, and of course it more than doubled. That's a billion is 1,000 million. 9 zeros a billion has. So that's just the debt servicing. So of course from 2020, 2021, 20.3 billion, it more than doubled. more than doubled, it more than doubled to 46.5 billion, 46.5 billion, more than doubled in 3 years. And of course, during COVID, with the special, of course, financial measures, my brothers and sisters, there's no solution but the DRT theory. This is the proof here. You see the proof. This is the proof. 2020, 2021, it's 40. It more than doubled to 20, from 20.3 to 46.5, from 46.5, 46.5. More than doubled. More than doubled. There's no solution, no solution, no solution. But my DRT theory for the creation of the UE. Once again, in 2020-21, we paid 20.3. 20.3. 20.3. 20.3. 20.3. We paid 20. I want to lose these glasses. I got them from the greatest person I know. If I make a million, gonna give her half a billion, gonna give her half a trillion, gonna give her half. Deserves to be 7 times the number after 6, after 6, after 6. Deserves to be 7 times richer than Oprah. 7 times I'm a Swiftie. Rainbow Dragon is a Swiftie. 7 times richer than Swift. 7 times richer than Beyonce. Got love for you. Blah 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 blah. This is the DRT solution we're discussing. So look at that. 2020, 2021, the debt servicing paying interest. We paid 20.3 billion. 3 years later, we paid 46.5 billion, 46.5 billion, 46.5. And this is not sustainable. So what is the solution? Is my DRT theory, the debt refusion theory for the creation of the UE. So what is the debt refusion theory? The debt refusion theory, DRT, is my theory which I created, and it includes what's called in general finance, in finance, it's called monetary integration theory. And monetary integration theory is exactly what was done in the European Union. What was done in the European Union, monetary integration. The Europeans, they got rid of the Deutschmark. The Europeans got rid of the Deutschmark. The Germans got rid of the Deutschmark. The Italians got rid of the lira. And of course, the French got rid of the franc. So we're going to do the same. But my theory has a little special added attribution to it. Special added attribution to it. Special added attribution to it. So we're going to take all the debt, my debt, private debt, 10,500, my debt, your debt, our debt, Canada coast to coast, all the debt, all the debt, all the debt, the public and the private debt, the public and the private debt. So my 10,500, yours, ours, and we're going to run of North America, all the public and the private debt of North America. And due to the fact that the United States dollar is still the currency of choice primarily for international business, international finance, global commerce, and of course tourism and imports export, the United States dollar, although has been challenged in the past more than 7 years, it still is the currency of choice. So we're going to take all the debt, all the public and the private debt, my private debt, your private debt, our private debt, together. My private debt, your private debt, our private debt, we're going to take it together. And of course, we're going to take it, add it all up. It's going to be in the millions and billions and trillions. Trillions. So all the public and private debt of Canada, of all citizens, my debt, your debt, our debt, converted to US dollar, Mexican peso, Mexico has peso, Haiti, the Haitian gourd, add it all up. It's going to be in the billions. All that number will finance a new North American central bank, just like they had to do in Europe. In Europe, they had to do the European Central Bank. The Europeans created a new bank, right? A new bank. They created a new bank. We're going to do the same. We're going to do the same, but with the special DRT, with the special taking of all the private and the public debt. So we're going to take it all, and this is the solution, the only solution. All the debt of Canada, United States, Mexico, Haiti, add it all up, convert it to US dollar, the Mexican peso, Canadian dollar, Haitian gourd, and whoever wills, but primarily for North America, it can be transatlantic with the NATO, NORAD, NATO countries. All that number create a new central bank, a new central bank, a new central bank, a new central bank. And that bank will issue this new currency called the Universal Exchange Unit, the UE, the U dot Universal E dot Exchange Unit, U dot E dot UE, Universal Exchange Unit, Universal Exchange Unit, the U dot Universal E dot Exchange Unit, U dot Universal Exchange Unit, Universal Exchange Unit. So create it all, U dot E dot U dot Universal Exchange Unit, Universal Exchange Unit, Universal Exchange Unit, and that will be, we'll set an interest rate limit of 10%, and all the money, the public and the private debt, converted to US dollar, whatever that number is, that will finance the initial money supply. So that will finance the initial money supply, that will finance the initial money supply. So that's going to be in the trillions, right? In the trillions, in the trillions, in the trillions, in the trillions. Universal Exchange Unit, Universal Exchange Unit, the Universal Exchange Unit, the U dot Universal E dot Exchange U dot UE. That is the Universal Exchange Unit, the U dot E dot U dot, the Universal Exchange Unit, U dot Universal E dot Exchange Unit, U dot E dot U dot, Universal Exchange Unit. The Universal Exchange Unit will be based on the US dollar, will set an interest rate limit of 10%. It could be less, not more. It could be 3.33, 1.56, 9.3, 7.70, 7.77. So less than 10%, but not more by principle. And then we're gonna freeze all the prices of goods, of milk or butter or cheese, and the goods and the bread. Freeze all prices, get rid of inflation. With that, freeze all prices, get rid of inflation. Secure food, housing, and transport. Finance the two complementary covenant and cooperative institutions, integrated with all existing institutions. The Dragon Army, North American security and service, defense only, security and service force based on my philosophies, protocols, and of course the Dragon Army for security and service coast force, and the Dancing Goddess Army, the DGA Dancing Goddess Army. For the environment, we got a lot of environment to clean, forests to clean, blah 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 blah. We got forests to clean, and of course we got forest and lake and oceans to clean, blah 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 blah. We got forest and oceans to clean, and we got dancing to do, and we got a lot of work here. Public-private partnership for defense, security, pleasure, and purpose. Defense, security, pleasure, and purpose. For defense, security, pleasure, and purpose. 21st century. This is part of the ongoing dream. The Dancing Goddess and the Dragon Kingdom, which is my dream for the rebirth and the new 21st century, with a new light, if you will, with the new light, to create the aforementioned what I said for the DRT. I'm just gonna go check if they have some special. This has to be recycled here. This has to be put in the trash. Maybe not recycled, but trash. Don't leave it there, because the flora, the fauna, the birds might go in it. Like the flora, the fauna might go in it. So I'm just gonna go look if they have some soap on special, because I have to buy it for my anonymous sister friend, and I don't want it to say that it's not given, of course, to her to get it, and that I gotta do my part in the household, you know, to the tango, and get that 50%, you know. So we gotta get it on the drill. So I'm gonna get it on the X, on the Y, and the Z. So we gotta get it now. Yeah, they were technically closed. So I said, I'm not gonna go. And I understood. I said, understand, no problem. I'm just gonna go somewhere else or whatever. I don't think it's a pressing matter, but I can just check again. I'm gonna double check, but I think it's fine. I just wait. Anyways, the DRT debt refusion theory for the creation of the UE. Here at the bank, encouraging all to work out, train, exercise. I'm always down to do push-ups, squats, hogs. Always down to do push-ups, hogs, squats. Always down to do. It is 6:02, so I also gotta hurry. I don't have too much time to spend. So let's see what hand soap refill bottle. Maybe I'll go to the pharma pre hand soap refill bottle. Hand soap refill bottle. Maybe I'll go there. Anyways, the DRT is the only solution. I'm going to discuss it a bit after. It's just that I'm going to try to get the hand soap now. So, you know, if in case I forget, you know, I want to be forgetting all the time. want to be forgetting all the time. So what if I forget tomorrow? Procrastination, procrastination, procrastination. Should rather do today, man, you know? So I'd rather do it today. Hey. Well, we got the soap. We got the soap. I didn't want to retard it yet, so further delay, procrastination. So I'm gonna head back to headquarters. As we go, as we go, as we go, as we go. We're gonna check the budget. It was on special, so it was reduced. So it's better that I got it here. You know, I think I would have gotten the same, and I think this is a good quality. So I said, hand soap, good to have. If I don't go tomorrow, go today. Don't leave for tomorrow what you can do today. And you know, I'm an Aspie, so the whole procrastination and being late, I'm working on it. And punctuality, I'm working on it. Repetition, I'm working on it. Oh, now the backpack got a little bit on the heavy. But I think I placed everything in order, but nothing to get damaged. I guess I can double check. And thank you for the food donations. I went to the... Oh, Bangkok, it looks like a storm is coming. I don't mind storms, thunder, but for a little bit of sunny, but it looks like a very cloudy, man. Very cloudy. Just turned whatsoever. It turned a little bit, you know. So here's a little Montreal West monarch butterfly educational garden if you want to check. The monarch is one of the most iconic butterfly species in the world. Habitat ranges from southern Canada all the way to Mexico. So living in Canada in the last 20 years, monarch population declines. So we need to do something. Let's get it back. So we got monarch butterflies. It's declining. You know, Mother Nature did that DGA. Dancing Goddess Army, Dancing Goddess Army, blah, blah, blah. We need to get it on the DGA. You know, that's for cleaning, cleaning, cleaning. And rebirth, you know, we got to do it. You know, let's go. Millionaire artists, butchers, bakers, nurses, doctors, and of course, all those millionaire artists, athletes give to the DGA, Dragon Army, public-private partnership. That's the call, that's the dream. I'm not perfect. I don't pretend self-righteous, you know. I like my rainbow, and you know, and so many things I don't know, you know, all the details about everything about science. My obsessions are geopolitics 24/7. Sports dancing is my favorite sport, and sports dancing, fitness, sports dancing, fitness, sports dancing, fitness, sports dancing, and dancing and fitness, and geopolitics and public hygiene and study of civilization. So that's about 24/7 with me, but as an artist, athlete, philosopher. Let's see, thank you. So I got priority here, but I still turn my head left and right. Because you never know, what if the brakes malfunction? What if the citizen driver presses the accelerator instead of brake? So those are all things which we gotta focus about, which we gotta be mindful and meditate on all those possibilities as a citizen now in the public. I'm no longer in my private, I'm not in my private quarter. I got added responsibilities, duties, and obligations, which under the normal circumstance I would have not had under the normal circumstances, right? If I would have been outside, if I would have been stayed inside, I would have had less. But I'm outside, and of course, now I'm very, very, very on the go, and I like to stay active, stay fit. It's my medicine and therapy of choice, but that's what it is. So here we are. Here we are, we gotta get it. For the X and for the Y and for the Z and for the line. And the sun will never die, and the sun will never hide. The sun is rising, setting, let's go. Hydrate. little guy really needed a hydration, so I'm grateful for that building there. Imagine how it was built in order to connect it underneath with all the work, eh? All the aqueducts which were built underneath, eh? For us to have that water. It's a lot of work to go underneath, and then the filtration systems. You gotta meditate how the filtration systems connect with that water for us to have clean water. Can you imagine, can you imagine, can you imagine? All that work to build those aqueducts. Gotta salute the public works, you know, and now with the geopolitical situation we have to also, kind of monitor, be mindful, for the water to be safe for drinking water, because we're living geopolitical times which are tough, and I predicted what's happening now geopolitically back in 2019. So here I got the responsibility to stay on the right side, just like driving. So we got added responsibilities, duties, and obligation, not aforementioned, with privileges, and civilization is a privilege, right? The railroads, the trains, the buses, all the food, all the things we have as an interplex, sophisticated cosmopolitan civilizational culture. So we gotta be mindful of that. There we go. You're welcome. So that's where we stand with that. And now we're gonna go, not tardy too late. We're gonna go back to headquarters. Somebody smoking that legal. I like the smell. I don't smoke that much. Actually, I haven't smoked in ages, but I do like the smell of it. So I do like the smell of it. It kind of brings me a little bit of freshness, but I have legal cannabis at home, but I don't smoke. So myself, I do not consume cannabinoids, cannabis products, weed, whatever you call it, ganja weed, that green. I'm not gonna start rapping. If I rap, I'm gonna mention the farmers, the butchers at least once in one of my songs. Or the nurses with it, as I rock and roll always, I gotta mention. Public workers picking up the garbage, the compost. Y'all gotta rap for them also. For the garbage collectors, compost collectors, cleaning the roads. Gotta rap for them also. We got high techs to take some of that old school with it. It's not all new school. Sometimes you gotta get that old school, and sometimes we get drill, we get old school with it, and ain't nobody perfect, We working on it. I'm a work in progress, I've been a mess sometimes and messy sometimes, and now when I work out, train, and exercise, and now when I involve in the geopolitical analysis, and now when I do rock and roll, I do a little bit of comedy with it. So I think my friend said that, the receptionist there said that I'm good as a comedian because they were laughing. I said, I don't mind, just continue laughing. If I bring you laughter and joy, don't mind even if you laugh at me, and I can do it if you laugh at me. It's always something which I can manage and something which I can, tolerate, because I get clumsy. I'm an asp, even with my Asperger's, just ask. I got a just ask policy, and that's how I roll with it. I like to see people holding hands, kissing, hugging, and people exercising. And actually, I can cross here because the road is blocked there, so Illinois, man, all the way from Illinois. Thank you for coming, visiting with us. I was born in the USA twice in past lives, previous incarnations, and I served both times in the United States, both times in the United States Army, that way, down south, down there. Both times served in the US Army post 1776, post 1776. Served in the United States Army after 1776, so basically after Independence Day, in both incarnations. Well, I was born many times right here on the island between 1635 and 1904, so that's how it is. Here the sun's shining. Oh, we're gonna go towards the sun, man. It just pierced those clouds, man. So we gotta get going on that. Love your shirt. Yeah. Said never lose your smile. I'm trying.
Exactly.
Now, not trying to bother you or anything, but I find it's a nice thing to.
Yeah, even when you're dead
Yeah.
You know?
And if I die, please smile and make lots of love, and that's what I say to people.
Yeah, exactly.
Make love, have a party in my
get
name.
a couple of your friends to make babies in your name.
Oh yeah, I would love that.
Right?
I love that. Make out, man. Make out, dance, drink, have a party, man, you know?
Exactement.
C'est ça l'affaire. Je voulais pas te déranger trop, là, mais...
Ah, c'est correct. Au moins, c'est avec gentillesse.
Ouais, parce que j'avais vu ton t-shirt, puis ça m'a fait penser à quelque chose que moi j'aimerais, tu sais. De ne pas faire, de ne pas perdre le sourire, là, parce que...
Ouais, il y a tout le monde qui se laisse...
Moi, c'est juste me le demander, c'est comme ça. Demande-moi, allez, si je peux t'offrir quelque chose, je vais te l'offrir. Si je te tends une scénaire, juste me le demander. Salut, bonjour, that's it, that's all.
Ouais, ben tu fais du DJ ou whatever?
Non, a little bit of rock-and-roll. Du rock-and-roll, je fais de l'entraînement physique.
Ok, ouais.
Des choses comme ça, du rock-and-roll. Je viens de composer une chanson, mais en anglais puis en français, par exemple. Puis je regardais le soleil un peu, puis...
Ouais, il est descendu vite quand même.
Ouais.
Il avait juste...
Toi, t'as l'air en forme, man.
Ouais, mais je m'entraîne beaucoup.
Ouais.
C'est stress, man. Keeps me from going crazy.
Yeah, man.
I don't lose my smile because I keep training. Or else
He keeps training, always push-ups and those squats.
Yeah, I do a lot of push-ups.
Living.
I'm hitting 73 in a minute if I'm real fresh.
Oh, I just had a freaking song in my head. Never lose your smile. Never lose your smile, even if they're hating on you. I'm gonna thank the farmers before you eat.
They hate you because they hate you. Sort of thing.
Yeah, man.
Have a good one.
Yeah, man. He's gonna give it a little bit of that X and that Y, and he smiled, so I smiled. A little bit of chat there, my fellow citizen. He's doing his thing there, you know, so he's reading, and he has Never Lose Your Smile as a shirt, so I think I am gonna do a good one with that, you know, play a rainbow, you know, never lose your smile, jamais perdre le sourire, so I think it's a good way for me to start in French now, because I got a French song. Je vais composer une chanson de Citoyen qui m'a encouragé là-bas, que je l'ai vu très bien-être, c'est dans son bien, puis je voulais pas le déranger, mais il m'a fait un sourire, fait que il m'avait dit que, tu sais, j'ai fait la traduction de son t-shirt. Son t-shirt disait Never lose your smile. Ce qui veut dire en français, c'est jamais perdre ton sourire. Jamais perdre ton sourire. Jamais perdre ton sourire. Je voulais pas le déranger, puis j'étais en train de lire, il m'a fait un beau bonjour, puis il parlait qu'il faisait beaucoup d'entraînement physique. 6 jours semaine, puis il avait l'air en forme, puis il avait l'air en bien être en forme, je ne vais pas déranger, mais ça a fait plaisir avec ce chandail-là. J'aurais mis un peu d'arc-en-ciel, là, du rouge, là, mais en noir et blanc, c'est pas pire, puis je suis toujours de bonne humeur quand je m'entraîne. Des fois, je suis en stress financier, mais c'est tout vraiment aujourd'hui, là. Je peux vous dire, les dernières années, là, c'est juste le stress financier. Les autres, ça va bien, la santé mentale, ça va bien, tu sais. Ben, je sais que je suis votre dragon arc-en-ciel qui chante jamais perdre le sourire. Puis je remercie les travailleurs publics, les fermiers, les boulangers, les charpentiers. Hey. On a quand même une bonne civilisation en Amérique du Nord, de quoi défendre, puis à faire du progrès sur moi-même avec l'Asperger, tu sais. Lui, il est là, puis il est en train de rire, mon citoyen, puis son plaisir, je voulais pas le déranger, puis comme je dis à tout le monde, juste me le demander, tu sais. Je vais faire un effort, tu sais, me le demander comme un bon Québécois, mais... Taper ses nerfs, excuse-moi, that's it, that's all, Rock&Roll, tu sais. Si je vous tape sur les nerfs ou quelque chose, juste me le dire, puis je fais un compromis, je comprends, puis je comprends. On a tous des choses à comprendre. C'est lui, il m'a dit, tu sais, comme il a dit une bonne affaire, que j'avais dit, il parlait de le sourire, tu sais, puis il dit, garder le sourire, c'est important, puis parce que je pense que c'est aussi la gratitude, tu sais. Avoir la gratitude. Si on n'a pas de gratitude, tu sais, comme mes frères et sœurs qui sont ici de la belle province en Amérique du Nord, je pense que c'est important la gratitude. Comme tu sais que les travailleurs publics, ils vont construire ça, il faut avoir la gratitude. C'est sûr qu'il y a un investissement monétaire. Et c'est sûr qu'il faut faire l'effort d'y aller. Tu sais, le basketball, j'aime ça de loin, j'aime ça le regarder, mais j'aime plus le sport, les pompes, puis tout ça, le rock-and-roll, puis des choses comme ça. Fait que moi, il m'a demandé aussi qu'est-ce que je faisais, puis c'est mes vlogs qui sont longs de marche, de méditation, de rock-and-roll, puis tu sais, pas demander, d'habitude je demande un câlin, mais à retourner à regarder, d'offrir un câlin ou quoi que ce soit, mais à retourner dans son livre, lire, puis il peut dire non, puis ça m'offense pas, il veut pas that's all, mais on garde quand même la paix ici, on canalise notre agressivité avec l'entraînement physique, tu sais. C'est possible aussi que lui, tu sais, des fois, c'est pas parfait, puis il y a des choses aussi, peut-être, je sais pas, je connais pas ses finances, je connais pas sa vie privée, je connais tellement de choses, je l'ai vu en train de lire, fait que je sais un peu. C'est toujours superficiel un peu si on fait une analyse, tu sais. On peut faire des analyses profondes, des fois, tu sais, on a des biais, tu sais, on a de la psychologie, puis on a nos propres assumptions, tu sais, on peut se penser, on pense des fois à tellement de choses quand on rencontre d'autres gens, puis comme moi, avant l'Asperger, c'est si je répète 2-3 fois la même chose, si j'ai des gestes un peu bizarres, tu sais, peut-être il va penser que j'ai des troubles mentaux, mais en sachant pas que j'aille l'Asperger, que je suis aspi, puis c'est pour ça que je répète 2-3 fois la même chose, tu sais. 2-3 fois la même chose, mais, tu sais. Moi, juste me le demander, si vous voulez me traiter de nom pendant 1 minute, ça va fait plaisir, je vous laisse 5 minutes. T'sais. Si vous voulez me traiter de nom pendant 5 minutes, je vous laisse en 10. Vous voulez dire n'importe quoi, mais pas faire de menaces, là. Pas faire de menaces, là. Faites pas de menaces, là. Vous me faites pas de menaces, puis vous me faites pas la violence parce que je prends le droit de me défendre. C'est pas un bon samaritain, je prends le droit de me défendre, de défendre ici. Québec, la belle province, l'Amérique du Nord, le Canada, défense, bon samaritain, that's it, that's all. Puis c'est tout, tu sais. Puis l'agressivité, j'en ai moi-même, puis il faut faire l'entraînement physique. Je veux juste monter en haut ici sur les escaliers, ça va en faire du bien, puis je vais attendre qu'ils descendent en sécurité, puis je vais juste aller en haut. Je vais attendre après les autres ici me tasser, puis je vais monter en haut. On y va, on monte en haut. Eh ouais! On monte. Sur les escaliers, qui veut me financer, je descends puis je monte 300 fois. Sur les escaliers. Sur les escaliers, avec du rock&roll et la marmotte, je la vois. Là. La marmotte. Et c'est ça, on fait des assumptions, tu sais. On fait des assumptions, on fait des assumptions. On assume, on assume, on assume. Et voilà, ils font du sport, fait que je vais continuer avec la gratitude. On est le 1er mai, fait que je vais devoir payer mon loyer, là. Je vais devoir payer mon loyer. Quelle heure qui est? C'est l'heure de la gratitude. C'est l'heure de la gratitude. Gratitude de mon loyer payé. J'ai payé mon loyer. J'ai payé ma facture d'électricité. Je vais payer mon loyer. Mon loyer, on est déjà le 1er mai. Fait que j'ai payé ma facture d'électricité à l'Hydro-Québec Go. Hydro-Québec Go, c'est 66. Il faut embrasser d'autres centrales, puis il faut faire l'encouragement physique. Là, j'aime ça le football, Go Stingers. J'adore l'équipe de football américain, ça fait du drill, puis je pourrais faire des passes contre du quarterback, et puis ça fait du beau plaisir ici à faire de l'entraînement physique. Que ça fasse. Mais oui, je gratitude, mon loyer payé, mon facture d'électricité payé, puis j'ai du café petit thé, puis ça c'est les Stingers. Wow, ça c'était un gros kick, ça. Hey, ça c'était un kick. Wow, right in it. Donc la saison commence, puis c'est bien sûr les Stingers que j'encourage parce que c'est l'équipe de football, puis ça fait. J'aime ça le football américain, bien sûr, c'est quelque chose que j'entraîne, bien sûr, que je fais moi-même. Je vais voir s'ils vont faire le kick. Un autre kick. Drill. Oh yeah, check ça. Wow. Il l'a eu, man. Kick dedans. Je sais pas quand ils vont commencer la saison, je vais devoir checker, mais yeah, ça prend de tout au football. Hein. C'est la défense, puis l'offense. 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 Un autre kick. Ah, non, celui-là, il l'a pas eu. Mais ça prend du kick, parce que c'est 3 points, ça peut compter 3 points ou 1 point après le toucher, là, mais c'est sûr, là, j'étais un peu, parce que, tu sais, l'Asperger, je suis obsédé par le sport, la géopolitique, et puis bien sûr, là, c'est tout de civilisation. Fait que là, je viens de voir, bien sûr, là, qu'ils font du... Yeah. Ah, yeah. Du monde qui font l'amour, qui s'embrasse, c'est ça que j'aime voir. Puis du sport, j'aime ça voir le monde qui font du sport. Puis, c'est que là, ici, pas le kick, comment que ça fasse du kick. Et ça fait du bon enfant. Hein? Anyways, puis bien sûr, le sport, j'encourage. Puis là, je me dévie un peu parce que je suis un fanatique du sport. Là. J'aime ça, la danse, c'est mon sport préféré. Le hockey aussi. L'entraînement physique, bien sûr, c'est 24 sur 24. Puis le sport, 24 sur 24. Puis ça, j'étais un 49er, j'aime ça le San Francisco. Mais, puis les Alouettes aussi. Mais je regardais leur position, je faisais un peu d'analyse. Mais anyways, gratitude, de merci les fermiers, les pompiers. Puis on va voir quelle heure qu'il est, il est 6h32. Fait que ça va être une petite vidéo aujourd'hui de marche dans mon quartier. On a changé un peu, on n'est pas allé à la montagne, on va y aller demain. Sûrement demain matin, on va essayer de frapper bien comme il faut la montagne, puis faire une longue vidéo, puis retourner pour le compostage, puis voir peut-être encore pour le médecin, que ça soit valide, puis que ça soit bien sûr dans la documentation, puis que ça soit bien fait, bien comme il faut. Puis c'est ça que j'aime faire. La géopolitique, je la fais bien comme il faut. L'entraînement physique, je la fais bien comme il faut. Le rock&roll, je le fais bien comme il faut. Les autres choses, ben, pas parfait. Des fois, je me gratte. La comédie, je peux en faire bien comme il le faut aussi en arc-en-ciel, mais les pompes, je les fais bien comme il faut. L'entraînement physique, j'ai créé mon propre système d'entraînement physique. Et puis aujourd'hui, je marche, bien sûr, dédié aux infirmières, puis aux docteurs, puis aux services de la santé publique. Service de la santé publique ou service de la santé publique. Donc, la santé publique d'une manière générale, puis d'une manière adéquate, plus tôt pour les infirmières. Fait que c'est pour les travailleurs dans la santé publique. Public, parce que ça prend du public et du privé. Puis moi, fondamentalement, quand je dis soutenir le rêve de votre dragon arc-en-ciel, c'est fondamentalement un appel pour un partenariat public-privé. Fondamentalement, un appel pour un partenariat public-privé, c'est ça. Quand je dis soutenir le royaume de la déesse et du dragon qui danse, que je fonde avec 718 milliards de bisous, c'est fondamentalement un appel pour un partenariat public-privé. Et bien sûr, c'est basé sur mes philosophies, mes théories, et bien sûr, qu'est-ce que j'amène pour les Nord-Américains, vu que ça sort de maudit par l'Asperger's. La bénédiction, bien sûr, la bénédiction, que ça soit une malédiction, bien sûr, que je peux vous porter, la théorie de la refusion de la dette, la TRD, ça soit fait, bien sûr, par moi-même, qui l'ai conçu, puis bien sûr, ça fait plus que 7 ans. Ça fait plus que 7 ans, mais parce que je l'avais prévu la situation actuelle, puis là, je suis au point de discuter, fait que je vais discuter maintenant la théorie de la refusion de la dette, parce que je pense que c'est super important, puis il faut faire, bien sûr, une analyse concrète de la théorie de la refusion de la dette, parce que mes chers concitoyens, c'est la seule et unique solution en ce moment. Il n'y a pas d'autre solution que la TRD. La théorie de la refusion de la dette. La théorie de la refusion de la dette. La théorie de la refusion de la dette. C'est quoi la théorie de la refusion de la dette? C'est ma théorie que j'ai conçue voilà un couple d'années, mais là, c'est rendu au point qu'il n'y a pas d'autre solution que faire l'implémentation de ma théorie financière qui s'appelle la théorie de la refusion de la dette. Et regardez, je vais vous montrer pourquoi. Maintenant, je vous montre le pourquoi. Pourquoi c'est la seule solution. La théorie de la refusion de la dette, la TRD, c'est une théorie que j'ai commencé à faire il plus que 6-7 ans. J'ai commencé à travailler plus que 6-7 ans, puis maintenant je vous la propose, puis la montre d'une manière plus différente et concrète. Regardez ça. Ce chiffre-là, ça c'est le chiffre de la dette publique. Et ce chiffre-là, ce n'est pas la dette publique, c'est l'intérêt qu'on paye sur la dette publique. Regardez, en 2020-2021, on payait 20,3 milliards d'intérêts, juste servait de l'intérêt, soit comment qu'on payait d'intérêt sur la dette publique 2020-2021. On payait 20,3 milliards. 1 milliard, c'est en 9 zéros. Hein? 1 milliard, c'est en 9 zéros. 1 milliard, c'est en 9 zéros. 1 milliard, c'est en 9 zéros, c'est 1000 millions. Fait que c'est à 9,0, regardez ça. Et après ça, en 2023-2024, ça a plus que doublé, c'est plus que le double. Plus que le double, regardez ça. Ben, c'est sûr qu'il faut prendre en considération les propositions et les programmes financiers durant la situation d'urgence de la COVID. Là. La situation d'urgence de la COVID, c'était la situation d'urgence de la COVID. Et moi-même, j'avais bénéficié, puis je veux payer chaque dollar. Puis je paye de manière que je peux avec mes événements en tant qu'artiste philosophe en marche. Mais regardez, de 20,3 milliards en 2020-2021, payer l'intérêt. Ça, c'est juste payer l'intérêt sur la dette publique. C'est rendu 46,5. Oui. 46,5. 46,5, tu sais. 46,5. 46,5. 46,5. 46,5. Fait que là, il n'y a pas d'autre solution que la TRD. C'est quoi la théorie de la refusion de la dette? La théorie de la refusion de la dette, c'est ma théorie, bien sûr. Ça prend à prendre toute la dette publique-privée. Donc, ma dette de 10 500, votre dette, notre dette, la mienne, la tienne, la vôtre, la nôtre. De l'Amérique du Nord, je parle du complexe de civilisation nord-américain parce qu'en Amérique du Nord, on constitue un complexe nord-américain. Un complexe nord-américain, un complexe nord-américain, et donc nous autres, on en fait partie, on en fait partie, on en fait partie. You know, so, c'est ça, that's it, that's all, and il faut qu'on fasse en continuité du rock&roll avec, puis ça fasse un bon XYZ, un bon XYZ. un bon XYZ. Donc, on va prendre toute la dette publique-privée, on va faire un partenariat public-privé, un PPP, et on va prendre toute la dette de 10 500, 10 500, ma dette, votre dette, notre dette, la mienne, 10 500. Ma dette de 10 500 plus la vôtre, la mienne, la tienne, du public puis du privé. On va ramasser tout cet argent-là. Puis encore une fois, tenez en compte que la TRD, ma théorie financière, la théorie de la refusion de la dette, ça inclut la théorie d'intégration monétaire. La théorie d'intégration monétaire, ça inclut la théorie d'intégration monétaire. La théorie d'intégration monétaire, c'est exactement ce qu'ils ont fait en Europe. En Europe, ils ont fait laisser faire les Allemands le Deutschmark, les Italiens le lira, les Français le franc. Ça inclut ça. Fait qu'on va prendre toute la dette publique-privée. Tous ces chiffres-là de l'Amérique du Nord, vu que le dollar américain est encore la monnaie de change pour les finances du monde, le commerce global, on va faire une conversion toute la dette du Canada en dollars des États-Unis, la dette du Mexique en dollars des États-Unis, la dette d'Haïti en dette de la gourde d'Haïti, on va la convertir en dollars des États-Unis aussi. Fait que tout ce chiffre-là, ça va être un gros chiffre énorme de milliards. Ce chiffre-là va fonder une nouvelle banque. La Banque de l'Amérique du Nord, parce qu'en Europe aussi, on fait une nouvelle banque. La Banque centrale européenne. Fait qu'on va faire une banque centrale d'Amérique du Nord. Et toute leur dette publique-privée, ça va fonder l'argent initial, qu'on va appeler ce nouvel argent comme qu'ils ont fait en Europe, l'euro, ils ont créé une nouvelle monnaie. On va l'appeler le UI. U point, unité, E point, échange universel. Fait que U point, unité, E point, échange universel. UI, un UI égale au dollar des États-Unis. On va faire un gel de tous les prix, le prix du beurre, le prix du lait, le prix du pain, du bacon. On va finir avec l'inflation, on va créer l'UI. Unité, échange universel. On va créer une nouvelle banque, on va mettre un taux d'intérêt de 10%. Ça peut être 3,33, moins de 10, pas plus. 7,77, 7,70, 9,3. Ça peut être en bas de 10%, mais ça va être maximum 10%. 1,56, ça peut être 7,70, mais 3,33 et 7,70 et voici 4,18 et 7,18, mais en bas de 10, fait que ça peut être en bas de 10. mais pas plus que 10. Ça, c'est maximum de 10%. Il n'aura pas plus d'intérêt. Fait qu'avec ça, ça va être un compromis, une entente de partenariat public-privé entre les finances publiques et privées pour le 21e siècle. Avec ça, on va pouvoir fonder les deux institutions de complémentariat public-privé. L'armée de la déesse qui danse pour le nettoyage des océans, pour l'environnement, bien sûr, pour le travail environnemental, puis culturel, culturo-environnemental, avec l'armée du dragon, pour la sécurité et le service de côte à côte à travers l'OTAN NORAD de l'Amérique du Nord, seulement et intégré avec toutes les institutions de partenariat public-privé qui existent aujourd'hui. Les pompiers, les services de sécurité, police, la GRC, tout ça basé sur mes philosophies, mes protocoles. Donc c'est ça le rêve. Le royaume de la déesse et du dragon qui danse. Le royaume de la déesse et du dragon qui danse. Pour un partenariat public-privé pour la Renaissance. Bâtir plus de centrales de l'Hydro-Québec. Faire un grand ménage. Et se faire plus d'aqueducs. Bien sûr, faire un peu de... Bien sûr, ici, on va faire du renouveau dans l'infrastructure. Du maison, avec tout cet argent-là, on va pouvoir refinancer l'infrastructure. On va financer les gens, la nourriture en premier, le transport le plus qu'on peut, financer les gens à faire l'entraînement physique, que je continue à faire appel pour les gens qui soient financés à faire l'entraînement physique, qui sont continuer à faire le financement des gens pour faire l'entraînement physique. Ça, c'est super important. C'est ma médecine et thérapie de choix. Ici, mes chers, les scorpions, qu'est-ce que c'est ça? Oh. Ça ici, c'est pour la nourriture, par exemple. Je vais le mettre là, mais les scorpions. Ici, il ne faut pas mettre des livres, par exemple, vie sauvage, je vous aime bien, je savais, mais ici, c'est pour la nourriture, ça. Donc, ne pas mettre. Puis ici, dans mon quartier, je salue ceux qui font... Ça commence avec les fermiers, la sécurité alimentaire, fait que les fermiers en premier, ceux qui le transportent. Et bien sûr, on va voir s'il y a quelque chose. Là, il y a quelque chose. Quelqu'un peut venir puis prendre. Je ne vais pas la prendre parce que j'en ai pris. Fait que là, aujourd'hui, je vais laisser ça pour quelqu'un d'autre. Vous avez des beans. Vous pouvez mettre là ça. Il ne faut pas que ça soit réfrigéré, mais pas grave. Il va falloir que je lave mes mains aussi quand j'arrive chez nous. Fait que là, vous pouvez prendre les fèves. Puis il y a du monde qui remplissent, puis ils donnent, ils remplissent, puis ils donnent. Fait que je salue ceux qui font ça. Mais moi-même, j'ai pas besoin aujourd'hui. J'en ai pas besoin aujourd'hui, mais je salue ceux qui le font. Puis c'est quelque chose de bon. Les banques alimentaires, bien sûr, c'est en croissance, un taux de croissance exceptionnel. Fait il faut envisager ces choses-là. Je me tasse pour ma citoyenne pour qu'elle fasse de l'entraînement physique, c'est ça. On va pouvoir financer les gens à faire l'entraînement physique. Faire mon entraînement physique, ça peut... Ben, mon entraînement physique, c'est entre 44 minutes, le moins 44 minutes et 30 secondes que j'ai fait le moins de temps pour le faire, puis 88 minutes, le plus long. Parce que tu as maximum 93 minutes pour le faire. Si quelqu'un le fait, on peut le financer. On peut faire le financement, on peut faire le financement. Et on peut faire le financement. Fait le financement des gens de faire l'entraînement physique. Le financement pour faire le bénévolat, le financement pour faire l'entraînement physique, bien sûr. L'entraînement physique, du bénévolat, puis faire la danse aussi, pour la danse, le financement. Parce qu'avec cet argent-là, toute la dette publique-privée, on va pouvoir faire ça. Hey, ça, c'est la solution, là. Il n'y a pas d'autre solution en ce moment, là. Il n'y a pas d'autre solution. On peut dire qu'est-ce que vous voulez, mais vous avez vu, je vous ai montré la preuve de la Banque du Canada, là. De la Banque du Canada, là. Il n'y a pas d'autre solution. Il n'y a pas d'autre solution là, que la Banque du Canada. Là. Donc c'est ça qu'il faut faire, méchant. That's what we gotta do. Gotta get it on there.
Perfectly comfortable, got everything you need. The price is relatively reasonable.
Bon, c'est à sens unique, mais il faut quand même que je m'assure que je traverse en sécurité. Fait que je regarde parce que des fois les freins ne fonctionnent pas. Hein. Même si c'est rouge pour eux autres, le frein ne fonctionne pas. ça pèse sur l'accélérateur avant, fait que je suis dans le public. J'ai des responsabilités additionnelles pour les autres citoyens, pour être un bon samaritain, puis la sécurité, puis pour moi-même, puis pour les autres. Tu sais. J'aime mieux voir les gens qui dansent, qui tiennent par la main, qui font l'entraînement physique dans le public. Tu sais, il y a des choses qu'il ne faut pas faire en public. Moi, je fais attention de ne pas me gratter trop avec ma situation, là, mais tu sais, en plus, c'est embarrassant, fait que c'est embarrassant, you know. C'est avoir une patch, puis je me gratte les parties privées, je me gratte les parties privées en public, puis faut que je fasse attention, tu sais. Anyways. Le corbeau qui chante, qui est beau. Ah. On va aller par là. Ouais, le corbeau. Je traverse ici. Et le corbeau. Hein. J'aime les corbeaux, fait que je les regarde. Ah, je vais traverser maintenant. Faut regarder de la gauche à droite, tu sais. Parce que des fois, ils viennent fort, ils viennent vite, puis on se passe frapper par l'automobile. Tu sais? Fait qu'il faut que je traverse en sécurité, je regarde la droite, la gauche, tu sais. C'est des choses qu'il faut que je regarde, tu sais. Juste pour être en... Imaginez-vous, les freins ne fonctionnent pas. Imaginez-vous, les freins ne fonctionnent pas. Les freins fonctionnent mal, ça pèse sur l'accélérateur, ben... Shit, faut faire attention, I gotta watch it, you know. I gotta watch it, so... Anyways, that's all for today, the vlog today. Le vlog d'aujourd'hui. Une bonne marche, and a good workout, you know, smaller video, but... Petite vidéo de moins, là. Mais c'est quand même quelque chose, so... You know, I got maybe 13 minutes and 11 seconds, j'ai 13 secondes, 13 minutes et 11 secondes, 13 minutes et 11 secondes, 13 minutes et 11 secondes, 13, 11, and gotta go back, you know, and that's it, gotta be grateful, and I gotta rock and roll with that, and I gotta supplement, and I gotta go wash my feet and eat, cause I am hungry. Je dois aller manger, j'ai faim.